Good morning children. In my last video I had told you about the computer program. Computer program is the set of instructions that executed in a computer to do a specific task or to solve a problem. Okay. So for writing a program in the computer you have to learn certain language, that programming language. There are so many computer programming language are there, just like your C, C++, Java, Perl, Python, etc. Okay. So if you want to write a program in the computer, you have to learn the programming language. Okay. Now in your syllabus, you have to learn the Java programming language to write a program. Okay. So before learning the Java, you must know about certain concept regarding the programming language, that is the OOPs. So today we have to know certain things about the OOP, that is the object oriented programming. Okay. Just go to the next slide. That is, here you can see the introduction about the OOP. That is certain information. You just remember it, that object oriented programming concept were introduced in the late 1950s in MIT, United States. OOP became one of the most influential development programming, and the concept made programming simpler by dividing the program into number of objects. Okay, so the fundamental element in the OOPs is the object. Okay, so the main thing is the object. Now next see, so if you see everywhere it is written object, so we must understand or define the object. So before going to the definition, what we can say the object? Now whatever you are seeing surrounding us, that living and non-living thing, all are known as an object. All living and non-living thing surrounding our nature is called as an object. Okay, and just like your pen, car, book, dog, human beings, all these are chair, table, blackboard, fan, whatever you are seeing surrounding you, all these are known as an object. But this object having certain definition. What is the definition? The object is an entity that has a state, behavior and unique identity. So how can I define it? It is an entity which has a state, behavior and unique identity. So first we individually have to explain what is the meaning of the state, what is the meaning of the behavior and what is the meaning of unique identity. First we should see what is the meaning of the state. Now in the class 8 all of you know that you have already learned about the data. Okay, so data is just like your roll number, name, address, phone number, all these are called as a data. If I am talking about the state, so state is nothing but the data we can say. Now the proper definition you see here, all the characteristic or attribute that characterized any object define the state of an object. Characteristic or attributes which is characterized a object. Okay, that is called as a state. So what is the meaning of the characteristic or attributes? This is nothing but the data related to the object. Okay, from the example you will be more clear. Just you see the example. The student is an object and it is characteristic or attributes are, what are they? They are the name, roll number, height, weight, percentage, phone number, etc. Okay. These are the attributes or the characteristic of a student object. So in another way we can see it is nothing but what? The data. These are the data related to the student object. So the state is nothing but the data, which is also called, we say it, characteristic or attributes. So the characteristic or attributes which characterize any object or define an object is called the state of an object. Go to the next slide. another example here you can see, if I am talking the car is an object, then it is characteristic. What can be? The characteristics are the name of the car, the brand name of the car, and the color of the car, the size of the car. These are the characteristic or attributes, or we can say the data, okay, related to the car object. For another example you can see, if you have in front of you, you have a table, you can see the table, the height, the width, the color, the size, all these are the attributes of the table. You can also find out some certain characteristic of a object which is near to you. You can find the characteristic of a pen, characteristic of a chair, characteristic of a fruits. All these characteristics you can identify, so you can more clear about what is the state of an object. The next thing is the behavior. The behavior. Now behavior I can say, simply I can say the behavior, how the object is react, or how the object is function, how the object is working. That is the different functions or the capability of an object is known as, or defined as, or understood as the behavior. How the object is react, how the object is working, how the object is functions, that is called as an behavior of an object. Now see the example. If I am taking the same example, the student, if an object, what's the activity, what is the behavior, or what is the functions the student has to do? He has to talk, he has to work, he has to appear in the exam. Certain activity has to be done by the student. So this activity, these functions, this capability are called as the behavior of a object student. The next is the another example. Just you see the car. What is the activity or the function as the car has to do? The increasing and decreasing of the speed, changing of the gears. Okay, these are the activities done by the car. So we can say this is the behavior of a car object. The last one is the unique identity. Now every object having a certain identity. That unique identity you understood, that is the name of the object. That how can you identify the object? By their name. So what is the meaning of unique identity? Okay, now for example, suppose in your class there are two students having the same name. Suppose there are two students having the same name, Ram. If I will call the Ram, which Ram will be respond? So, or how can I differentiate or identify both from each other? Differentiate from each other by their appearance, by their surname. Okay, so certain way I have to differentiate them. Same way, if the object belongs to a one class, there are so many objects belongs to the one class and having the same value. So how can you differentiate them? By their unique identity. By their unique identity. Now just you can see example. You may have a doubt in the class. In the next session I have to explain what is the class. Okay, so just for the time being, you think that there is a class called student and which is having the two object, and the two object are the ST1 and ST2. How they differentiate from each other? By their unique identity. Okay, so just for a to understand the concept, class is the creator of an object. You just remember it. So from that you can say, suppose class is an creator, which the class student which has to create two object, and the two object is the student 1 and the student 2. So now you understood what is an object. Okay, so we go back to the definition. An object is an entity that has a state, behavior and unique identity. State is nothing but the characteristics, attributes or the data of an object. The behavior, the activities, the functions or method of an object, and the unique identity, the name of an object. Okay. So in the next session I will explain what is the class. So thank you.